Hello, hello. It's an interesting full moon, second full moon in Capricorn. This one is conjunct out of sign, Pluto in Aquarius. Capricorn very much likes things to say they value tradition. They value longevity. They value the hard, long climb. It feels like it was such a hard, arduous road and they accomplished something so big, Capricorn energy, that then changing it seems crazy. But that Pluto in Aquarius wants progress. So we have two diametrically opposing energies that are holding hands. And then those are talking to the Neptune in retrograde at 29 degrees. And the eclipse is at 29 degrees of Capricorn as well. It's like a hard dying out of something that needs to change. And then it's also having a harmonious conversation with that 29 degrees Neptune in Pisces, that quite frankly, if you're not, you don't have to, it's not like you can't have anything to yourself. You can't have autonomy or safety or privacy in certain information. But if you're anyone who's going out of their way to like lie right now, not at 29 degrees Pisces, it's going to reveal itself one way or the other. So that means also full moons bringing truth, a bit brimming, right? That's why it's also a good time to have a party. I had to do something today at 6 in the morning, right when the full moon was happening. And I knew that it would be great because I had to find something very specifically, something that was going to be hard to get. But it was in the name of a good time. Perfect. And it was as successful as I thought it was going to be. But we also have Mars that's making a trine, moved into Gemini. It's 0 degrees Gemini, so it's making a trine to the Aquarius and to the Capricorn full moon. So we have two harmonious conversations that are very strong going on with this Capricorn full moon. The second one, that's also holding hands with its diametrical opposite energy of one wants to say the same and some demands change, no matter how it comes, without judgment. Like there's no attachments. There's no unhealthy attachments with Aquarius. This is the information. This is the progress we need. It's not personal. The change has to happen. And let me tell you something. Capricorn is that other side of Cancer. It is personal. It's personal to Capricorn. They work too hard for things to just change overnight. So we have these two energies and a full moon that wants to show the truth, shed the light, and then talking to Neptune in retrograde at 29 degrees Pisces. I did a whole astrological Zoom for like 2 hours. It went through all the signs in membership. Even if you join the lowest membership, that's where that is. And also I was able to look at members charts and really get into the nitty gritty of that, this full moon. But today we're going to pull cards for each sign. And I'm just going to let whatever comes up. I know this moon looks or can be spoken about like it's a little scary. And sorry if you heard it that way. It's not a day I wouldn't maybe travel today, or like, there's a lot of misconceptions about what full moons are for, picking things that are ripe. So it's not like you can't do anything at a full moon. Again, I had a very successful morning and I knew it would be. And it was literally as the full moon within 4 minutes of the exact of the full moon. So this truth, this movement that's coming in for you, especially something that feels hard to change, And that's been thematic in the transits lately. That is what I want. What truth is going to come in? And sometimes, you know, we like to concentrate on what did this person say. You're going to find out that one did you dirty. You already know who did you dirty. I'm not going to concentrate that on that today. I'm going to ask for your guides to bring in, like, what is the truth you need to see so that you can die something down so it can change and progress. Although we think of Scorpio and Pluto as the phoenix, we do have Pluto involved here in Aquarius. We do have Mars here. So we have the true rulers of Scorpio very much involved in a full moon. It's giving Phoenix. It's giving Phoenix. So I personally love that kind of energy. Give me anything that's going to move me into a better version of myself, for sure. I want to thank everybody in the chat. Hello, hello. Thank you for, okay, so the makeup is flawless today. I will tell you the makeup is maybe 8 minutes. I honored my 10th house sun and my 10th house Mars today, which is, you know, it's got a lick of Capricorn on there because I have a flipped chart. So, you know, the Capricorn's where my Cancer would be at home and my Cancer's where my Capricorn would be at home. So I'm wearing a bold color, a take no prisoner, bold lip, and everything else is clean. But like that liner is sharp, right? Everything. So I kind of honored the Capricorn full moon by honoring my 10th house. And if you guys want me to do, for anybody who doesn't know, when I first started studying astrology, it was through a friend at that, and you know, their brother is an astrologer still to this day for 30 something years. So I first was very interested in it in the late 80s. It was not a viable profession. So I went on and did something else that satiated my soul. And I was a corrective colorist and makeup artist that was lucky enough to work with professional football teams, dance team. I was voted best of the knot for wedding hair and makeup for the territory between Philadelphia and the Poconos, which is huge. And I got to work with magazines and even had magazine cover. And I used to like direct the shoots and direct the calendar for like, it always went that Virgo rising always showed up. My Jupiter is in Libra and it's talking to the Gemini at the top of my chart, helping people, and that Jupiter in Libra is in the 2nd house, helping people feel beautiful, whatever that means to them, is something that I either do through this modality, but I used to do it through the modality of hair and makeup. It's why you often see me with nothing going on, because it's like, been there, done that. If you want me to do a series about how you can do your makeup to honor different parts of you, or when you need to summon this part of your chart because you have an interview or you want to be soft and romantic, just leave me a comment if you're watching this as a replay viewer. If you want me to take the two worlds and collide them together and do a whole series on that. Because I know there's a lot about how you can like dress for your Venus sign, but it's more than just your Venus, right? Sometimes and my Venus is in the 11th house. So it's Leo, but it's flipped. Yeah. I will tell you that for years, people used to ask me what I did. And I said I was a purveyor of self-esteem. Because that's what I did. And having people open up, come out, be vulnerable, all that, like in my chair was a metaphysical practice. It just, the tools I was using were different. And I'm very honored and humbled to say there were people that would say like they found their self-esteem no matter what their outside looked like, when they would find their way into my space. And I felt that everybody that found their way into that space was there for a reason. So, and I'm still really close with a lot of them today. A lot of them. So it's just another way to do it. It's just, I'm kind of, to me, I'm doing the same thing. It's just in a different modality. And this is, you know, I'd like to say this is a lot deeper, and on a lot of levels it is. The information is different, but woo, the transformations that would happen internally, let alone externally. Yeah. So that being said, if you guys want me to do something on that, let me know in the comments. My 10th house Mars and my 10th house Sun. My legacy is to leave people empowered through whatever tools. Okay, so let's get into this Capricorn moon. I am going to start with Aries. I'm going to start with Aries. Now, if you have Aries placements, especially late Aries, this is going to be squaring. This full moon is going to be squaring. The Mars is going to be in a sextile if you have early Aries. And that Neptune is also going to be in a sextile if you have late Aries. So it's a very interesting dichotomy with this full moon. Let's see what the truth. I'm just gonna pull whatever comes out. Okay, Zoe. We're happy that you're in this space too. We're happy to have you. If you're watching this for the first time, subscribing just so you can have access, forget about me. The people in the community, the people in the chat, it's like the cheers of the tarot community, and like everybody knows each other's name, and it doesn't matter if you're brand new. It will, I promise you, it's super warm. One of the things I love about membership is we have a Discord page so they can all hang out without me. Okay. Aries. Okay, let's pull. Call back all my power to me now from anyone using it without my permission. Let's pull a card about like what transformation is available to you. The Magician. What are you trying to, Aries? What are you trying to? I don't mean manipulate and like you're manipulative, but if you're trying to make things happen instead of like manifesting and letting things happen, you want to look and see, when I have the Magician upside down, that's somebody trying to arrange for things to happen, possibly in a way that is, the intention is for the best interest. It might not be in your best interest, especially if it's coming out like this. Let's see what you're getting for love, Aries. We're about to go into Leo season. By the way, happy birthday to Lori Rivers today. Pop over to her TikTok and find her last video and wish her a happy birthday. Cancers. Aww. I'm glad you love it, Dora. Okay. Let's see what you get for relationship stuff, Aries. And again, I did a whole astrological with every rising sign and the house and what that means and the nitty gritty of all this. That's in membership. All right. We have the Queen of Swords. I mean, this is a very truthful full moon. There's also Mars there. That Mars is in Gemini. I just had this conversation with an amazing client I've had for 2 years, and we did a little astrocartography, and boy, did she moved. And everything is going really, really well. And the recognition of environment and how important that is. There was so much work on her part in the change, the movement in the last 2 years, right? Amazing. That's her. That's all her. There's a kind of honesty with yourself as much as other people, that when you do that, especially in this energy, when, again, we have Pluto and Mars, which is very scorpionic, even though it's a Capricorn full moon with that Gemini Mars and that Neptune in retrograde and the Aquarius Pluto, it's still giving Phoenix, right? And so what you let die down, even though it's hard, even though you might want to reach out to this person, even though like you're hoping they're going to turn a corner in their behavior, when you let it go, universe like says, okay, we're letting go. This is what we're doing. It's quantum physics. Like matter attracts like matter. So when you give out the energy to universe, quite literally molecular, everything that the universe is made up of, that's literally the same composition of our human bodies. So when you do that, universe is like, all right, we're moving, we're unsticking, they're ready. And all of this stuff will kind of align. I don't want to oversimplify it, but it's really about releasing the stuff that we think we have to check on, that we sometimes, when we're grieving relationships with people or how we used to be in relationships, we miss the good times. What we're missing is a reflection of ourselves in the hope of the potential of that person or that relationship. We don't want to feel like we put work into something for nothing. It's never for nothing. It always will come back to you. It's never for nothing. With this Queen of Swords, Aries, you know how to be truthful. You know how to cut through with the truth. This Capricorn full moon with the Mars in Gemini, it's time, because let me tell you something. Now that Mars moved into Gemini, things are going to move fast. If you are willing to let the old guard down, whether that's your mindset, whether that's relationship styles, whether that's old cycles, if you are willing to let the traditions that no longer serve you, because that's the way you always did things, because that's the way we always did things, whatever the, structure is that's supporting this mindset that I can't let go of that, or I can't let go of this person, when Pluto in Aquarius is begging you to. Mars in Gemini is giving you the thought process. You're probably having epiphanies left and right. Uranus isn't too far away from that. Mars still. It's in separation, so it's weak, but it's still there. And we have all these truths coming in. When Neptune is in retrograde, it's the disillusionment that helps us. So we have Aquarius, it's not about that bullshit. There's no unhealthy attachment. And we have the disillusionment. If you let it in, I promise you, this truthfulness in relationships, it's going to shift everything. And then it's going to move fast. Yay! The amount of happiness I have. Do you know how many people, even in these crazy transits, so you can see things going on in the outside world and you can still have excellent results. We have 3 people in our community who've been waiting to get into a house. And then we have another person in our community who just closed on a house. The Gemini, love, that makes me very, very happy. Congratulations. So we have that Queen of Swords. You have to be, it's not even just being about, you know how to like slam some truth? Let me sit you down and fuck you up with some truth. Aries can do that. Aries moon here. Ask my closest friends if I don't sometimes I'm going to give you a hug. And then while I'm giving you a hug, I'm going to say something in the most loving way, but it's going to, truth. And when you try to change the subject, I'm going to redirect you back to that truth, right? And so, and I love, and sometimes I need that to be done to me, even though I resist sometimes too. You're good at doing that for other people. You have to do it for yourself. You have to do it for yourself right now, Aries. All right, let's get one. Let's just get one general, like an advice card. Let's get one for an advice card. So don't try to like make things, things are trying to change and you can't rearrange things. You can't conjure a situation. Arrange, again, I keep getting arranging things. Like arranging the situation so that you can say something so that they can give you whatever that you're looking to get, that, you know. Hear the thing. There's just, that's not, you gotta let, there's something there about letting things happen. Let Aquarius and Pluto, Mars and Gemini, and Neptune and retrograde in Pisces, let them do their jobs. Capricorn doesn't like to give up control, but you know. Oh, I just thought of such an inappropriate joke. I'm gonna keep that one to myself. Let's just say it had to do with Capricorn and Daddy. Okay. The Fool. Take a minute, sit. We're not gonna make moves right now. We're gonna check and look and see. Right now, the light is the brightest in your life, right? It's a full moon. So we have this very strong full moon. It's Saturnian run, and so is the Aquarius, by the way. That Aquarius Pluto is also Saturn, but like I say, Saturn expresses in Capricorn like daddy, and Saturn expresses in Aquarius like zaddy. And so they're the same but very, very different. And of course Pluto and a moon are going to express very, very different. When we see the moon and Pluto, sometimes in synastry, depending on the aspects, if those people are healthy, that looks like obsession. And if the other person has like power stuff, you probably don't know it. Probably the astrologer has to be like, oh yeah, that person's there. They're obsessed with you in all the right ways, right? And it can be bad obsession. But it's obsession nonetheless, a lot. This, you have to look at like, what have you been obsessing over? Before you make any new moves. All right. Okay. Uncross that leg. Let's look at the hydraulics. Stop working on the chair, and I feel so short because the desk is like right here. Let's look at Taurus. Taurus, obviously, if you have late Taurus, this is trining. If you have early Taurus, if you have early Taurus, this is like a very interesting, because you're in you're semi-sextile, that Mars, so it might feel annoying to you. This energy might feel like annoying to you. Now, if you have enough other placements and less fixed placements in your chart, whatever Pluto is going to move you out of, you might be welcoming right now, because you might have sat in a stuckish energy. You know, Taurus is very interesting because y'all know you're stuck, right? Y'all know like maybe this isn't the best thing, Taurus placements, but that same determination and tenacity that builds the stability, that builds the foundation, also, you know, you got to give it a good reason to like move out of something. And Aquarius wants you moving. So let's look at this. What is the card for you for this full moon? Okay. Ace of Wands. Again, another card in reverse. There is something, Taurus, that, and Neptune wants to make this a disillusionment. Give it some time. There is something that you're like, oh, this person was sent to me. This situation is kismet. It has you all up in like, I want to say your feels, but it might feel like a little like Stella got her groove back. It's the Ace of Wands. So it may be that you think that something is divinely sent. And you may get in the next day or so, or, you know, it could be up to a week. If you examine close enough, you may get evidence that like, if you let the disillusionment happen. Because things are going to, listen, people, things are going to move fast with Mars and Gemini. And I really mean that. So like, are they going to move fast? And you're going, la, 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 I'm just going to keep doing things the way I've been doing it. Or are you going to let that Pluto and Aquarius and that Neptune retrograde, 29 degrees Pisces, are you going to let that tell on anything and take the mask off anything that needs unmasking and hear it? I know that's a hard thing to say. But I gotta be honest, Taurus, this is something that you're like, this person, like, and I want to say especially, don't spend money on something, like to invest in something, that's like somebody's telling you, oh, if you invest in this is the new best thing. Take a minute. There's some kind of disillusionment. There's some kind of mask that needs to be moved out of the way. Sometimes we tell ourselves something's divinely guided. This person feels a lot, and I hear that a lot in appointments. And it can be that way, but it doesn't mean that something that's divinely sent to you is, if we focus on the length that person will be in our life or the nature of the relationship or put expectations on it, that's when we kind of miss some of the stuff. But I think something, yeah. If any of this is hitting you on personal reading, all that stuff is in the description box. Okay, let's get a card for Taurus in relationship for this full moon. You know, and I talked in the astrology live that I did for members. You know, Mr. Rogers says, look for the helpers. Jupiter in Gemini and Venus in Leo are in a beautiful sextile right now, and those are your helpers in the chart. Really think and make sure that like it connects for you, what somebody's offering and tell you is of value. Because Leos sometimes can extrapolate the value out of something because they will help somebody else shine as well. It's that, you know, the sun is always shining on that Leo Venus. So something can sometimes feel bigger than it is. Let your discernment If you have questions, ask them. This feels very, very channeled. If you have questions about something, ask them. And if you get like pushback or you get like a redirected answer, go get more information. Okay. Relationship Taurus for this full moon. Two of Cups. I feel like I pull Two of Cups all the time. I never hear that song. Something Stacy. Two of Hearts. I want to say it was like in the 90s. For some reason. I can't even remember her name. And it's not the Two of Hearts part. It's like the beginning chorus, not the chorus. The beginning lyrics, the first, whatever that's called. There's something in there for somebody. Okay. Two of Cups. There's reciprocity here. There's like-mindedness. Let's get a card for you, like advice. That Ace of Wands, it could be somebody that you feel spark with. There's something else coming in. Careful of the person you feel, you know, fireworks have to come down. Yeah, I love that song. Hi, Samantha. But it's like be together. Something about like a fire. I can't remember the words, but I just know that I am drawn to that first. I can't even think. I'm so channeled right now. All my big girl words are falling out because what's the advice? Okay, Five of Swords. You might be lamenting or, you know, Five of Swords is very like on ready. Like there's no one else left to fight, and why you're not moving out of the situation, or you know, you have all the tools that you need out of the experience. The journey might be over with a situation, a person that where it got like adversarial or crunchy. You have everything you need. Five of Swords is you already have. I mean, everybody else, you took all the swords. Yeah, Taurus, move out of that. When we stay thinking about a person that we just worked hard to separate from, we're still kind of giving them their energy. Our energy, and then whether we're playing, whether we're in no communication, if you know, you're still, listen, we all have to be like vigilant about certain things in our lives, but you don't want to play like a tennis game of energy back and forth with somebody you just worked hard to separate from. Okay, Gemini, this Mars just moved in. It's gonna move fast. You guys wait. Things are gonna move fast. Make sure you have all the truth so you're moving, because if things are gonna move fast, you want to move fast in full light and truth. Okay. Gemini. Okay. Seven of Swords in reverse. Gemini, there's a situation where you think somebody's still like stealing from you, or you think somebody, there's a situation where you're not trusting somebody, or you're not trusting yourself. And this card would tell me that like, it's okay. Like, It's funny, Mars just went into your sign. I don't even feel like you're being overly accusatory. I think your lived experience is making you feel like, I don't trust this. And I actually think you're going to get confirmation that's going to like let you decompress and feel a little safer in a situation. Hi, Shauna. Your 12th house cusp is 29 degrees, Cap. I mean, I can't even imagine the hits you're probably getting, and that's probably draining your energy. Listen, if you're having this in your 12th house, if you have a lot of Pisces, if you have a lot of 29 degrees, make sure you're calling back your energy right now, and that you're releasing anything that isn't, and just say like, please, do you mind if you call back? No. I call back all my energy now from anyone using it with or without my permission because I said so. That is how you want to call back your energy in these kind of astrological transits. Especially if you're having it in the 12th house or you have some like Pisces stuff. Okay. Relationship for Gemini. Okay, strength in reverse. There's either a connection that you've been fighting, they've been fighting. There's going to be crack. This doesn't feel like... Okay, so there's like a need for... There's a need for progress, right? We have that Mars in Gemini, and I'm going to say it again. We have Pluto in Aquarius, and we have the Mars in Gemini. Pluto and Mars are the rulers of Scorpio. It's very, very Phoenix energy. In case you're watching this sign by sign or just for your sign later, I'm going to keep saying that because it's really important to keep in mind for this, even though it's Capricorn full moon. And, you know, we're talking Gemini Mars and Aquarius Pluto and Pisces Neptune. Having the big conversations, but there's scorpionic energy around all of this. Something has to die down for that progress to happen. Straight card, we see the infinity, like the 8. There's there's like a connection that's beyond what you want it to be. Like this feels like you're trying to apply like 3D logic to this connection that is not going away. And so, but your life may not be set up for it. And so you keep trying to, why am I doing this? What is this? You keep trying to push it away, but it keeps, it's hands like an ocean, push you out, pull you back in. This, like, you're going to have to decide, or they're going to have to decide, whatever end of this relationship you're on, whether they're willing to change the environment. If you're, you have choices to make, which that's what this full moon's going to feel like. Gemini, you could be like fluctuating between like, this is the easy thing. This is what I'm connected to. This is like, but if I'm too connected to this, then there's too much chance that it could really wreck me or hurt me. Yeah. The resistance has to stop. I'm trying to figure out how to put Samantha's stuff back on, but I can't figure it out. Okay, let's get a card for like advice. Let's get a card for advice for Gemini. This feels big for Gemini, but you know, that Mars is in your sign. It's trining. It's the I love you more. So these diametrical opposites, this like something dying down so something else can change, and the fighting of the dying down, and the insistence that something change, and the truth coming in whether you want it or not. Don't let the anxiety get the best of you, Gemini. Okay. This we have a Six of Cups as the advice card. So there's probably some inner child healing to do, and I really still think that this has like Gemini sometimes can like to think it's feelings. What are you pushing away? This could be an old connection. Wow. Either you could be having a blocked memory come up. I'm not going to lie, Gemini, some of you. Listen, I have the childhood healing walkthrough. It's free. It's on everything. It's on my email signature. It's on my website. It's the pinned. I don't have like a membership pin video. I have the walkthrough. If something comes up, make sure you get support. Do the walkthrough. This is going to unchain you from this cycle, Gemini. Okay. All right. So it depends on where it's like hitting. Different things last different amounts of time. Like, you know, Pluto's kind of coming towards the Capricorn moon because it's in retrograde. It depends on how much resistance you give. It depends on how much resistance you give the thing that needs to die down. Also, if you like act on the energies of the full moon, whether that's acting out of however emotionally a full moon makes you feel, without taking pause for what it's trying to show you, the effects might not show up for a couple of weeks. And also, if you take advantage of these energies in a good way, it could show up. You know, Pluto moves slowly. You know, Mars is really fast. Pluto moves slowly. Each one's kind of different. But like, as far as like the don't do this on a full moon, for me, that's like a 48-hour window and then you're good. Does that make sense? Like, if you wouldn't like, I wouldn't do this on a full moon. Well, that window. But again, like, you know, I had something to do today, exactly at 6 in the morning. A little nerve-wracking. But I knew it would be successful because the full moon lent that energy. So sometimes the song is, I want to say her name is Stacy something. It's called Two Hearts. of hearts, two hearts that beat as one. Or is it Donna? I can't remember. It's Donna or Stacy, somebody. I feel like Samantha would know. Cancer, what is death? Yeah. You know, Cancers, this is an opposition. Obviously, the sun is at 29 degrees. If you have early degree Cancers, this Mars may feel a little annoying because it is in that semi-sextile position, and the Neptune is either trining or it's squaring. It's trining if you have late degrees Cancer, and it's squaring if you have early degrees. So there's a lot of energy. So we have, like I said, I'm always down for a good phoenixing. And it's also Scorpio, but like, so the death card is, it is really time. It's out of the chrysalis. Neptune 29 degrees Pisces. I am Mars and Gemini. The stuff coming in today. I'm getting a lot of music. The Out of the Woods song, Taylor Swift. I don't even know. I just know. You can't keep asking everybody else, are we out of the woods? Is this over? You decide when it's over. You decide when you're out of the woods. That's what I keep getting. I don't know if anybody has ever watched Firefly and then the movie Serenity, and the guy says, it's okay, this is a good death. That's what this feels like. Stacy Q. I was right, it is Stacy. Thank you. Thank you, Annika. All right, let's see what you're going to get for relationship, Cancer. Feels like you're in a way station. What the hell does that mean? The movie Heaven Can't Wait with Warren Beatty. It's got to be 30 years, possibly 40 since I've seen that movie. But that's, man, the Gemini with the Neptune. Okay, King of Pentacles. Whoever this is might be moving very slowly. You might be the King of Pentacles in the relationship, but somebody is steady. It's all of it or it's nothing. This person is really smart too. It's the relationship card. Otherwise, I could say somebody wants to invest in you. And it could be a relationship that wants to invest in you. I'm just saying, like, the other way that I would read this King of Pentacles, especially during this full moon, was that, like there's somebody... I keep hearing, like, hold on, wait. You could be putting one relationship down, like the death, the good death. Like I said in the beginning, you know, I just had a client and we were talking at the end of her session about, like, the changes in the last 2 years are crazy, and we did the astrocartography, and she moved. She did it. A lot of times I'll do astrocartography and it's, like, just cool to look. She moved. So, like, she took every little nugget and squeezed everything out of it in the last 2 years, including moving to that, like, and it's all, like, as soon as that, like matter attracts like matter, as soon as she gave the signal of, like, I'm really giving a good death to anything that isn't for me anymore. Like, not this new version of me, not the version of me that I just worked hard to be. I want to say King of Pentacles is partner, Cancer. I will tell you what, it's very, very often that people come in and they're asking a lot about another person. It's usually one of the first things. And the more they start to focus everything on themselves, they don't usually ask about other people in general as much. And then it becomes like that person ushers themselves out. And that doesn't even have to be encouraged. It just is what happens. Hi, Maricela. All right, that was too many, but Ace of Wands on the bottom there. Can we get a general advice card for Cancer? Star. It's wish fulfillment, and it's really deep healing. But it's deep healing you only get when you let go of attachments and expectations. That's the work. That's the advice. I always say the PhD journey of Cancer is to let go of the attachment to the thing we want to nurture, right? Can't keep everything up in that crab shell. Go to the corner, to the dunce box. Young man, go to the dunce box. Please tell me somebody else is a nerd and watches Over the Garden Wall, or has ever seen an episode of Firefly or watched the movie Serenity. Just me? Just me? Bueller? Okay. Leave me a comment if you know what I'm talking about with those, either of those things. Okay. Leos. Lovely, lovely Leos. You know, and Leos, you're fixed. Like Scorpio, like Aquarius. Obviously, if you have early Scorpio or late Cancer, that Aquarius, Pluto is opposing. But I keep talking about how we have the Mars in Gemini and the Pluto in Aquarius. And Mars and Pluto are the rulers of Scorpio. And there is a very, like, something has to die down in this full moon. And you will not be able to escape what it is. And then it'll just be your decision whether you let it happen or not. Because that Pluto in Aquarius is telling you that, like, we don't have a choice. We have to change. We have to... I know you're in about... Yeah, like, you love that tradition, right? And that Neptune in Pisces at that 29 degrees really wants to, like... break any illusions, you know, the disillusionment of what no longer serves you, or what you've been laboring in expectation and in hopes and potential against. This could be a big one for you. Of course, we have beautiful Venus and Leo right now, and it is having a gorgeous sextile conversation with Jupiter and Gemini. If that's not talking to the full moon at all, they're having their own little benefic conversation. Tina. Okay. The Star. It is about healing and wish fulfillment. I just shuffled the shit out of those cards. So, like I said, Pluto is opposing. You're fixed to, you might be feeling like almost like the Scorpio energy, even though like that doesn't make sense. It's like a Capricorn full moon. And between the truthful full moon, what a full moon reveals, and the Neptune in retrograde, which is speaking directly to this in a harmonious conversation, and the Mars in Gemini wants to move fast. Leos. Leo risings. This could be happening in your 6th house. Could be physical healing as well available to you in this Capricorn full moon, but you're gonna have to see your truth, like whether that's like sugar or I don't want to like put like say like, oh, being open to non-traditional ways to heal something, or I don't know, but there could also be physical healing. We get the Star card, it's Major Arcana. This isn't like healing something small. This is healing something that's gonna like change. One of my favorite moments in sessions, in conversations, is the observing of like a repeated thing that somebody says or a behavior, and it's usually the most lovely people. And we find like that point of, oh, this is why all these behaviors exist, because at one point, this was a survival tool. And so all of this stuff that you're like, I wish I wouldn't do that anymore. It was all born of survival tool. Like you have to thank your younger self for inventing the stuff that you feel like you trip over is in your own way, because it kept you here. There's something around that. Those are my favorite parts of what I do though. Okay, let's look at relationship for Leo. What's coming up? What's coming up? Okay, for Leo we have Justice in reverse. There's two things here. One, we have 2 Major Arcana. I knew it. That's what, before I even pulled cards, Leo, this is a big one for you, even though Capricorn full moon, but it's at 29 degrees, so it's really closer to that Aquarius. And so it's still, if you're early Leo, and you know, if you're early Leo too, then it's also in a trine to that Neptune. This Justice, and I want to show you this Justice card. This Justice in reverse, there's like you know, the owl, the wisdom, and she's holding the scales. There's also like a skull on the arm of her chair. Why do I feel like you were just recently merciful with somebody? Or you're feeling like you need to be merciful in a relationship. This healing, which is big, may have you, Leos, this may have you either realizing something that was happening wasn't fair, like that I'm putting that thing on this other person, or you're not playing fair anymore. It feels like a very split community. Also could be dealing with an Aries. Hey, CDC dogs. Okay. I want you to, like, Leos, if you're like struggling in a relationship, or like, I want you to take this the right way. Don't focus on like what's fair about the, the event is the event, the relationship is the relationship, the dichotomy is the dichotomy, that person's limitations are their limitations. It's more about making a decision of like, do you want to deal with their non-negotiables? Do they hit your non-negotiables the wrong way? Right? An event is an event. It's how we perceive it, is how we experience it. And somebody else's limitations, if we take that on, like, why can't you do that for me? If you love me enough, you would change that about yourself. Or like, that part of you really hurts me, I'm going to need you to change that. And sometimes their limitations are their safety. The way that you created something to survive, that, that happens for other people too. And it doesn't mean what they're doing is okay. But if you keep focusing on the, like, if it's fair or not fair, no one's going to move past and into the acceptance part. All right, let's get advice. The advice is the Hierophant in reverse. It's not being able to, like, the healing is that you cannot, not only can't you control what other people are going to do and not do, but like, you can't take it on yourself what somebody's capable of or not capable of. It doesn't make it right. And it doesn't mean you have to keep entertaining it. It doesn't mean you have to keep engaging. And it doesn't mean that you have to be like, well, I guess I have to settle for this. But to stay in it and keep saying anything. And this comes out of something, there's probably some kind, because you got 3 major arcana. I knew it. I said it before I drew the cards. The Leo reading, fat and juicy. Listen. Something in your early environment was a little toxic and maybe a little controlling. And you're letting that, you're deconstructing that, and it's going to change the whole, I don't want to say sometimes you hurt your own feelings, but that's not like a slight either. It's just because the thing is, Leo, is you're so fiercely loyal and you're so loving and you're so giving and you're so generous. It's like, but I would do that for you. I don't understand why you can't do that for me. And that comes from some kind of manipulation or control, possibly of a parent. Something. This is all being healed and let go. This is huge. This is life-changing. This isn't just like this year changing, this month changing. This is super life-changing for you, Leos. Please say what house your rising is way off. I know it's in your first house by degree. The houses, well, I did the risings for the astrology of it. That's the members only. So now I'm just doing like the placements. Like if you're Aries, sun, moon, rising. Am I misunderstanding you? If I please say the house. Wow, yes to the Leo stuff. Leo's deep. I mean, all signs are deep. All people are deep. I'm just saying I could feel it before I even pulled the cards, and you all got 3 major arcana. So this is life. This is milestone, life-changing. If you let it be. You're fixed. If you let it be. If you give in to your opposing Aquarius energy here. Hello, Nikki. Annika, let me know if I understood you correctly. I know your iPad is drunk with power and not always representing you properly. So I want to make sure I'm understanding you. What you allow will continue. And I sometimes say that to people and I think they get mad at me. And that's okay. But what you allow will continue. Always. Any sign, any transit, any day, any time in life. The King of Cups just keeps showing me his face here. Okay. Yeah, that is in the, if you are a member, if you want to join membership, the lowest level is like $2.99 and you get whatever videos are on the channel. And that one I went really, really in depth, and I did do rising sign, my rising sign, and also like what house. So if I'm saying like, oh, you're a Leo rising, this might be in your 5th or 6th. Then, you know, and you're born very far away from the equator, that's probably not gonna. So if you know where 29 degrees Capricorn is, you can also apply. So if you're 29 degrees of Capricorn is in the 1st house, then you can, if the Aries reading also kind of resonates, that can happen. All right, let's look at Virgos for this. Virgo. Late Virgos, you're trining this full moon in the Pluto. Early Virgos, you are squaring the Mars. And also late Virgos, you are opposing the Neptune. So this could be a little, this could bring you some challenges. All right, let's see what the general card is. That did not take long. The moon, no shit. No shit. That was, you know, I like to be specific. I like to feel like you guys get something out of it. And I feel like I'm being clowned right now by my guides. Like, you know what we should do to the Virgo rising who wants something really juicy and detailed? Let's give her a no shit card. I love my guides. My guides are the real MVPs. But sometimes I have this conversation like, I'm going to need more. I'm not going to say that out loud because I sound like every red flag of a metaphysical practitioner to be that general. You know. The truth will set you free, Virgo. Make sure you're doing self-care. Like last night, I took a really long bath. Like the Japanese scrubbing cloths, the Epsom salts, all of the trappings of like a really self-love, self-care long bath. Because that's what I do in full moons, right? I'm a water sign. The service you have to give to yourself. Virgo's kind of always looking for truth, always looking for information and figuring there's more information, there's more truth, there's a better, there's a more calibrated, tweaked answer of. You know, there's a full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces on September 18th in Virgo season. So that's 2 months away. I feel like the next 2 months are big for you, Virgos. I know that sounds general. kind of always looking. You're always seeking the truth. You're always... Sometimes you're pulling back layers that aren't actually there to make new layers. So I'm just getting what I'm getting, people. There's something there for somebody. Okay. Okay. I said, he keeps looking at me. He came out sideways. There's the King of Cups, Virgo. I don't know if they're telling you they're the King of Cups. You might be the King of Cups and you don't want to step forward with that. You know, pleasant looking person. We have a nice widespread. There's confidence here. This person knows who they are. They're happy with or without you, but they want you. They're not stepping in. Why aren't they stepping in? I feel like this is fucking with you because you feel it. They just won't step in. And it doesn't make sense. I have to do the full signs this week. I want to like find this King of Cups and be like, what the fuck? Just all Virgo wants is the information. Like, tell them why you're not stepping in. Like, they won't even, like, they get it. They'll be like, okay, cool. Like, you know, I wish you would, but if you're not, you're not. But like, I just want to know, because otherwise I feel like I have to go find the information, and that's sucking my time. It's sucking my energy. It's, my brain should be used for other things. They're happy. They're just, it's almost like that. This connection is so nice. Let's not ruin it. It's almost, it's not flaky. But it feels, I feel like it feels flaky to you. I like this King of Cups. That's the energy. But I'm also a little annoyed at them. Or annoyed at the behavior. Or annoyed at that, like, the apathy towards what's obvious. And I wanted to say, like, I know it sounds really corny, but like, just let things be what they are without trying to like extract. Yo, this Mars, Gemini, Neptune today. Okay, you got an Ace of Swords. Yeah, what you think you know, you know. You're not wrong. Virgo placements, 6th house placements. I almost want to tell you to like leave this King of Cups alone. And when I say alone, because you're Virgo, you're not chasing anybody. Period. They're living in their like happy little world where they can like feel about you how they want to feel, and like sometimes they're gonna like talk about it, and then sometimes they don't want to talk about it. And the things they're not saying that you think that they're not saying, you're right, and they're not saying it. You're not wrong. Leave them alone. Leave this King of Cups energy, male, female, doesn't matter, until, I don't want to say get their head out of their ass, because they think that they're at this like Zen place. There's a certain kind of love. It's called something, and it's just like, it's non-romantic, but it like, it vibrates I have to remember the word. But it could be romantic in different circumstances. It's just annoying. Your claircognizance is off the charts right now, especially with Neptune opposing. You also got Saturn opposing you right now, which feels like you would like other people to have more boundaries so you don't have to be the bitch to have the boundaries. That's what I just got, Virgo. It would be nice if other people had the healthy boundaries so I don't have to be the bitch with the boundaries. Yeah, everything you're thinking is right. You're not being a bitch. You're not, don't let anyone gaslight you. And leave them alone. Like, even energetically. Leave them alone. Woo! Yes, yes, Syra. Did you pronounce that agape? Yes. Like, maybe it was romantic in another life. It could be romantic in different circumstances. But I don't mean it romantically right now. It's really meant in this, like, zen kind of way. But it also feels passive aggressive. That's probably my Virgo rising. Whatever happened, like, I love you like a sister, I love you like a brother, or I love you and want to rip your clothes off. Like, I love you because you're family. I love you because you're my best friend. And I love you because, you know. It's like that meme. I want to, like, I don't mean to laugh at that reading, but it's like that meme where it's like, make up your mind. Either, like, when I think about you, I touch myself because this is fire, or when I think about you, I touch myself as then I rub my temples because you give me a fucking headache because you're passive aggressive and don't, like, need a place to land. Virgo might not be the mutable energy to be overly mutable with. Just saying. You're not wrong, though. You are not wrong. And it's like the thing they're not saying. And you're like, can you just say the thing you're not saying? What do you mean? Like, oh, let's talk about. They don't think they're gaslighting at all. Because they think that they're in this, like, oh. They're not a bad person, but I want to strangle them. Okay, on to the next. I'm letting that go. Call back all my power from anyone using with or without my permission because it said so. I'm releasing anything else. I got my New York and my Irish up. Damn. Lovely, lovely Libras. You also. Who else got this? Was it Gemini? Might have been Gemini. Seven of Swords in reverse. Ooh. You're going to get information, like the thing that you're, like, worried about somebody taking something from you. That threat is over, or that person really isn't trying to take anything from you. I think the apprehension is well earned. So don't shame yourself. You shouldn't shame yourself for anything. I'm going to say this, Libras. This is just for a few of you. They're not going to take from you because you're very different. You're not going to not recognize it. You're not going to, like, I'm getting this image. God damn, Mars, Gemini with the Neptune in 29 degrees is really, like, I'm getting this image of like you were entertaining or being lovely or having a conversation, and then like you turned around for 2 seconds. When you came back, you realized like that person was stealing the whole time you were smiling and nodding. And you're not even you're not happy with them, whoever this is, or like this is the same kind of person. But you're more not happy with yourself. Like, how did I miss that? How the fuck did I miss that? And the thing is that you're different. This feels very personal. I don't know who this is for. You're different. You don't have to feel this like stealing from you in plain sight right under your nose is what I'm hearing. I don't know. I don't think I've ever like hid my eyes with the cards before. I don't know what is going on today. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's get a relationship card. You're not stupid. You're not stupid, Libra. You were never stupid. People aren't supposed to do that. People are not supposed to do that. That doesn't make you you got to feel safe with your own discernment. Relationship. Okay. Libra, you're getting a second card for relationship because that's going to go to one of two ways. Yep. If you're not with your marriage partner, they may come in with this full moon, whether, I don't know if that's you're moving somebody out, but we have a connection that, because if I get the Hierophant, I said I'm pulling another card. That is because the Hierophant, along with other cards, signifies some kind of like committed, whether you're getting married on a mountain, and your friend's getting ordained and you're leaving the government out of it, or whether you're getting like, this could be like this could be like later in life marriage too. This could be like the other marriages were not good. This one's going to be good. That could also be connected to the Seven of Swords in between. I don't know why I'm getting this. Somebody feels like one of their exes. Not was confused, because I don't like that word of when it comes to this, but wasn't in awareness of their preferences. Not preference is a bad word. This feels really personal, but I gotta say it or else it's gonna again, this feels like one person. This feels like one person. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you can accommodate that. I feel like somebody here had an ex-partner, maybe marriage partner, and then that marriage partner is now gay, whether that's bisexual or gay or lesbian or whatever it is. And there's a fear that you can't see that. All I know is somebody is probably having a more like late in life. And you know, for some people, late in life is like they think they're gonna find their person when they're like in high school or by the age of 23, because that's what their parents did or something else. Late in life could be like 38, and for other people it's like 60. This could be marriage. Let's just get advice. Hi, Michael. Oh, 3 out, yeah. Everybody's still dealing with that. Okay. The Chariot, it came out sideways. We have 3 major arcana in this reading too, Libra. And of course, Libra, you are somewhat squaring this if you have late Libra degrees. And if you have early Libra degrees, you're trining the Mars. And if you have late Libra degrees, you are opposing the Neptune. It's going to move. It's once Mars and Gemini is going to move things fast. You can ask it to slow down. That's that. You can ask it to slow down. You can tell your guides, like, I moved fast the last time, and then I was upset with how fast I moved. So like, you can bring this in fast, but I'm going to need to be able to like parse it out. Hey, Tanya. I'm sorry you're in that delay. That was crazy. I heard it was happening at like hospitals too. Like their systems were down, like prescription systems. Scorpio. There's something going on, probably with feeling indecision around something. What may have felt indecisive, like too hard of a, like a, I don't want to say Sophie's choice, but kind of something that would have been important. And again, I just want to say how like Pluto and Mars are very involved in this full moon. And so it feels very phoenixy. It feels a little scorpionic. So Scorpio could be, and also Scorpio, late Scorpio degrees are going to be, you know, in sextile with the Pluto and the full moon. Sometimes when things are inconjunct, that's when movement happens. I feel like something you didn't want to decide, or you couldn't decide, or like this way didn't seem good, that way didn't seem good, and you could see things in your head, but like outside like life was not dictating in a way that allowed you to do the third eye, do the third choice from what you felt. The thing, I don't want to say like the decision is being taken out of your hands, but the decision, something else is going to happen to move this, where the decision will, like, you won't have to be the bad guy. That is what I am picking up. What you couldn't choose about is no longer a choice, but not like you too late, you didn't choose, so now you know it's being chosen for you and you get what you get and you don't get upset. More like it's just so clear. Doesn't even feel like it could be a choice anymore. Okay, what are we getting for love? Judgment in reverse to me is like a retrograde. That is observing a situation in retrospect. That is assessing something. This is very interesting energy. So in your life in general, there's something that's very clear that wasn't clear before. You might have felt indecisive about it. Now it feels like the only choice. I mean, that could be a reunion with someone or something. Judgment in reverse. returning. Okay, let's get general advice for Scorpio. Okay, I'm going to give you both of these because they both fell out. You get in the death card. This is your own card. When your own card shows up in your own reading, it's very, very strong. Again, 2 major arcana in this reading. The other is giving very much. So we have the 2 of Swords in reverse. Now we have the 2 of Wands in reverse. When I get this, you made a decision a while ago. You want a redo. We have Judgment. Everything says the same thing. Everything says the same thing. This is... This 2 sentences written in the same font. Like Alice Cooper and Steve Carell. Why are these things coming in my head? Oh. Some place you want to go is like super green, like lush. I'm just going to say it because I feel like whoever's supposed to understand it will understand it. You want a do-over and you want to go where it's lush. Sometimes I'm not supposed to understand. Sometimes I had a reading with somebody last week, and they're probably in the chat. And I was like looking at the astrology and looking at how it overwhelmingly wanted to express. And I brought this subject up with this client before, because they're a frequent flyer, and it was a hard no. And I'm like, I can't say that again because they've already said. And I was like, you know, I hate to, it's like, your transits and like the solar return and everything else, and it's you know, it looks like this. And when they were like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about that, I think I'm changing my mind. So sometimes I will hold back my words, and it's just not for me to understand. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to logically say, and that's really important too. If you want to like start reading and you're worried about being wrong, it's just not about us. Yeah, lush. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I saw like green rolling hills, but like that could also be symbolism for, by the way, symbology is not a word. There are people I love and respect about their practice, but my Virgo rising, every time somebody says symbology, I turn into Willem Dafoe from Boondock Saints. The symbolism of that also could just be like, where you're at feels barren, and where they want to feels lush and verdant, and like the land is fed and the environment is healthy. Aw, well, as soon as you do go back to membership, everybody has to do what's best for them. I'm never looking at like, oh, why did they join? And I will never message you going like, hey, why did you unjoin? Like that. Everybody has to do what's best for them. But the nice thing is that as soon as you rejoin, you'll have access to everything that you missed in between. Okay. Sagittarius. What do we have for you? One card about like, no, that's a word. Haha, my Mercury in Gemini says have fun with this word. Wait, what am I missing? Okay. Queen of Swords, Sagittarius. I'm hearing Fallout Boy. Da, 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 baby, we're coming up bullet. Number one with a bullet. Right? Bye, Cheryl. Cock and pull it down, down. That's all I keep hearing. And I keep, Sagittarius, I keep seeing, and I love her, Margot Robbie, but she's in the movie, and I see her with like a baseball bat, and she's got the 2-color hair. Harley Quinn? Is that it? Like, I see somebody with a bat, like, singing nursery rhymes. Like, you pressed the wrong button on Sagittarius, whoever did this. I don't think you did this to somebody else, Sagittarius. I think you... Oof. And I don't think you're going to swing on somebody. But with the truth, with words, with you're done, with like, that's not happening anymore. Oh, there's like... wow. Sagittarius, there's something going on here. Like you kept calling on me. Now I'm here. The pressure builds the diamond. Like, I don't love however this person pushed your last button, but they were a catalyst. They were a catalyst because it was almost like only going to be this like breaking point. That lets you found like your most... Because Sagittarius is fun all the time. They're not like... I love to go out with Sagittarius because they'll I dance on a table sober. They'll dance on a table sober with you. I always say when I go out with my Capricorns and Sagittarius, that's when I'm like... I will stay sober. Someone will need to be. And I'm just saying like somebody's going to need to like be having fun and the next minute be like, no, officer, we didn't mean to do that. But this is like, but they also want everybody to win. And they also sometimes ostrich, especially risings and moons. They can like ostrich stuff. Yeah, I just keep saying, is there a scene, Tanya, where she's like swinging a bat and like singing a nursery rhyme? That's what I'm seeing. I don't know if it's from that movie. I don't think I watched that movie. Oh my God, that's right. I was seeing somebody and it was his birthday. And I made him like a 5-course meal of all his favorites. And he wanted to like rent that movie. So we did. I remember us not finishing it, and not for good reasons, because it was like so bad. I think like we went, it was November, late November, and I think we went outside. There was like a thing to do a bonfire in the backyard, and we like walked away from the movie. So I didn't see the whole thing. I don't remember the scenes from it. Okay. Relationship for Sag. Yeah, dance on it. Yeah, I love going out with my Sages. Yeah, moon and rising. It's, you know, and I mean, you'll deal with what you have to deal with. I would not push that button because you will get Harley Quinn out of Sagittarius if you push the last button. But in general, you'd rather have a good time, be dancing on the table than having like the, like, we don't have to have that conversation. Okay. 9 of Pentacles came out. There's a relationship that's, I gotta tell you, for some of you, I read that like, you are thinking like, is this going to turn into like, am I going to get a commitment? Am I going to get a ring? Am I going to get a proposal? If the 9 of Pentacles is on the table, it's going to be ripe soon. It's just not ripe just this second. But this is like a sign. I just want to say like, be patient. Sagittarius psychic is hell too. So like, feel like you're feeling it, but it's almost like, it feels like, is it going to be this weekend? As it feels like it's going to be that weekend. It feels like, is this the person? Whether you think you're like that close where you're questioning if this could happen at any moment, or whether you're like, is this the person? And you start like imagining. That's the problem with Sagittarius, go like surprising them. Because I feel like Sagittarius, you can be very clairvoyant, and I feel like you're seeing it. So you don't know if that's like because it's now or it's 5 years from now. But you're not wrong. And whatever this relationship is, it has potential to be like picked fruit of your labors. When I say fruit of your labors, I don't mean your labor into the person. I mean the fruit of your labors into yourself that now attracted somebody that's like a good partner. Okay. 5 of Pentacles, whatever conversation you're not having, what were we just saying? Whatever conversation you're not having, whatever thing that you're avoiding, we are unghosting the conversation. I don't think you're ghosting a person, but it's time to come out of like, have the conversation. I mean, that's your advice, the Queen of Swords. Have it before you have to go full swinging the bat, singing the nursery rhyme. Okay, there's a connection here, Sagittarius, where I saw you saying the hard thing or having the hard conversation, not in a swinging the bat nursery rhyme kind of way, but like in a way that you haven't before. And whoever this potential lifetime partner is, they might already be in your life, right? In whatever capacity. It's like you're almost too perfect, and also when you do the thing, when you say the thing, there's a worry or a fear that they have of I don't know if this is blended family, but I want to say like they don't want to be the bad guy in a situation because you won't say something, and those are your people. You need to say something to your people. And so the one little hesitancy of not giving a commitment, but like taking, like knowing that like everybody's going to be okay with each other's non-negotiables. The one little hesitancy with that is that they don't want to be put in the position, like they want you to handle your people. And when they see you handle one of your people, it's going to be like, that's all. That was the one little last thing. Like, we're good. Because they just don't want to, they've like done that in their life or something. I don't know. Again, that could have been, I feel like I'm getting messages for like one very specific person at the end of all these readings. Let's look at Capricorn, and then we will go Aquarius and Pisces. I thought I was going to run through these, but not in this full moon. Not in this full moon. Okay, what is the general... I mean, are we kicked? I'm trying to use the same deck. Capricorn, this full moon is in your sign. And then, like, you know, you're in conjunct to that Mars if you're early Capricorn, which that's going to move you. Okay. Six of Wands. Let all this stuff move you. Don't worry about tradition. Six of Wands, having the space, having the time, and all the success you just accomplished before moving on to the next thing, it doesn't matter. You'll be successful as long as you keep moving. You have to keep moving. Six of Wands is an excellent card. It's not only success, it's the kind of success Capricorn 10th house loves. Like, you get to be like, I did it. I did the thing. Everybody, come see how good I look. Come see. That's very Anchorman. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, we kind of thought that was coming. I just told somebody over the weekend. I'm like, watch. Solomon's baby. Someone's doing what's good for the baby instead of what's good for what they want. What they want to possess, what they want to... Capricorn full moon, a stepping down of a patriarchy, a stepping down of an old guard, and letting the change come in. What have I been saying? And after Mars was in Taurus and so wanting to, like, this is what we're doing, we're not moving. Moved into Gemini. I'm not always right. I mean, he's not stepping down now. He's just not running. I don't know. I haven't seen the news, but I'm telling you, he's not like stepping down right now, I don't think. But he'll employ whatever he has to employ. Okay. We have Page of Cups for romance right now, Capricorn. Make an offer, but it's going to be small. And if you get an offer, it's going to be like, this is what I can offer you right now. And I don't know that is up your alley. I've been saying to a lot of people for a long time, I don't think either of those people are going to be on the actual ticket. Been saying that for probably over a year. Kind of can't wait to call my brother and be like, I told you so. He doesn't believe in any of this. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to tell you 3 things that astrology says. Okay. Wheel of Fortune, Capricorn, let everything change you. This is money. This is everything. You know, the Page of Cups, that's what you can offer somebody right now. If they want more and you can't offer it, that's a them problem, not a you problem. If that's all they can offer you, you have to decide if that's your non-negotiable. Right now, you have the Six of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune in this. You have to meet that energy. You have to meet that energy. Yeah. I like I said, I hadn't seen the news, but I'm sure he's not stepping down like right now, but he's stepping down from the nomination. Solomon's baby. Letting the old guard. Everybody that's in membership, if you watch this is kind of very specifically the energy that I talked about in the membership video. All about the old guard. And what do we do? Because that's the way we've always done it, right? And Aquarius and Pluto just, it's like, no, we have to change. We have to change now. This is going to be very interesting because there was a very limited time because of legislation passed on the other side of the aisle about when the DNC is happening and the convention in August and how much time they had to switch out the nominee. And so they've already said they were going to prepare legal papers to contest. So let's hope that's not successful. Because if it is, it goes to the Supreme Court. And we could have delayed results, to say the least. Again. Okay. Aquarius. Ace of Pentacles. Okay, this is very similar to the energy that... Was it Taurus? I think Taurus got that. So, which squares your sign. So what we're getting here is... be careful around investments, and be careful, Aquarius, investing in someone or something that feels like divinely given to you or guide, like, especially if it's a person. Some of you are going to move out of one thing for another person. You should move out of that thing for yourself instead of the other person, because the other person is more of a distraction, and there's such an opposite of the thing you have going on now. Whether it could be a job, it could be a relationship. This is a life thing. This is a you thing. Pan into the fire. Just be careful around that. We use the word weirdo as a term of affection in my house, to de-weaponize it when it's used at us. When somebody goes, "You're weird," I always tell them, "You mispronounced interesting." We got another ace. The Ace of Cups wants to show up. I want to get, be careful, all that glitters is not gold. That could be around you right now. Nerd is a compliment in this house. This makes perfect sense. Aquarius, this is what I keep talking about. I always say, I know that the Seven of Cups is like Mars and Scorpio, but to me it feels very Piscean. It feels very Neptunian. And so all the disillusion, and you can't tell, am I picking the snake? Am I picking the coin? Am I, like, you know, the illusionment breaks around relationship, and you're going to be able to, there's like a mask and a skull. And then a third thing. And it's whatever was being masked before is unmasked. Give something time before you walk into. That's relationship. The other thing could be like money, job, whatever. Somebody saying like, I've got a really good thing going. I need you to lend me money. But I'm definitely going to be able to pay you back. And they're not definitely going to be able to pay you back. It could be that. But then, and also relationship-wise... yeah, the fog breaks quite. You're gonna be able to handle it. Okay, so when I say the fog breaks, that doesn't mean the person that you, if you're in a healthy relationship, it doesn't mean that the person that you love is going to turn out to be something completely different. But what it means, how that's going to express is that you're going to, Aquarius, you've gotten your ability to accept things as they are without judgment. The thing is what it is. The person is what it is. and I'm not going to take that personally, right? Like your ability to do that created a safety for this person to take off their masks. That's for a few of you. Seven of Cups I prefer in reverse. This is not a bad thing in a relationship card. And I mean, if you just need to see people for who they are instead of, and what they're capable of. Masking is a huge thing. I was having a conversation with a client that kept saying, like, I don't know why this person changed so much. I don't know what changed this person. Because they, you know, said something that was really unkind, and they didn't think that that person was capable of it. And I said, well, while you were giving them what they needed from you, they were able to mask. And when they were no longer getting that, then that's when the mask came off and you saw the real them. They didn't change, and you're not stupid. It's that, you know, people, and I want everybody to hear me right now as we're going to like move into the Pisces reading, especially people who mask so much have done that to survive. Good or bad, even if they're hurting people, somewhere that was born out of trauma, and that doesn't mean you have to accept it or excuse it or exchange with it, but it is what it is. And so, like, you know, while we're in Aquarius reading, it is what it is. The only reason I'm saying that is not to, like, I don't want you to like forgive them and let them back in, but what I'm saying is that what I want you to do is not be hard on yourself. That you couldn't see where they changed, or how come I didn't realize that that's all that they were capable of underneath that. There was a conversation going on. And I love these kind of conversations. I follow two creators on TikTok, and I've talked about them, and I've said on my TikTok that people should go follow them for a couple of years now. One is Portia, and one is the White Woman Whisperer. And it was a conversation about people who mask. Yeah, say it, Suze. People who mask, and people who are on the spectrum, right? And this doesn't apply to everybody, but she has found that some women on the spectrum, like of autism, Asperger's, or whatever, will say, well, I only say that because I'm blunt, not because I have any kind of like microaggressions. And it was somebody who was on the spectrum that said, you know, this made me think, like, I've masked my whole life because now we're like, hey, go take this test. How much autism do you have? What's your flavor of autism? You know, my flavor of autism is that I break down all the ingredients and then find a cheaper way to make it. Now we celebrate it, but we didn't back then. So she's talking about probably women that are like Gen X and boomers. And one of them said, I've been masking my whole life. And the people that look the most normal in my surroundings growing up probably embraced everything to look perfect. Like, what will the neighbors think? And so they were mirroring speech, mirroring, like, that's masking. It comes on all different levels, but sometimes people mask to try to not be seen. It's like wearing camouflage in your behaviors. It was a very interesting conversation. You know, and whenever we're having provoking conversations that make us think, there's usually some epiphany out of it that helps everyone. So, like, just because somebody masks doesn't mean they're being, like, nefarious, two-faced. They don't have, like, another family on the other side of town. I mean, can that be, like, the worst expression of it? Sure. But we have to not be hard on ourselves because, like, we don't know the level of how somebody had to mask and how much they acclimated it and what they're, you know, if they were brought up in a house that generationally or culturally did not allow flaw to be seen outside the home. That was like a cardinal sin. It was embarrassment. Your embarrassment, you know, what will people think of the family? Don't embarrass our family. That masking can be really deep And then it's hard to separate when they even like, you know, become adults. You would think, well, okay, they're 40, they're not in their parents' house anymore. They're 50, they're not in their parents' house anymore. I don't want you to judge. And I know when I'm talking to Aquarius, I think this is just a general, Aquarius isn't judging. It doesn't mean you have to exchange. It doesn't mean you have to forgive. Doesn't mean you have to, but understand when people are masking, you can't be hard on yourself because you didn't see it. Because for some people that masking was truly survival. And they won't even have they've so acclimated to it, they don't have awareness of it. And until somebody has a provoking conversation, which is why I brought that up, they don't even realize they do it. If you said it to them, they would be like, I'm totally me. I'm completely authentic. Because authentically, that's what they have done their whole life. They don't. We all have something. We all have something we have done our whole lives that we didn't realize was a survival tool. I just had an epiphany about that like 3 weeks ago. Something that it's like, oh my God, that came from this abuse or this thing or whatever. I don't need that tool anymore. I don't have to do that behavior anymore. I don't have to protect myself from that anymore. I don't have to, you know. There's a very large scale. Like I said, for some people, you're giving them the safety to take all the masks down, and that's very, very new for them. And then for other people, you're dealing with somebody that can't even be aware of their own masking because it was born out of... My heart's beating really fast. Like, this is somebody with anxiety that masks. I don't know. All right, let's... Sometimes these readings is interrupted by, like, a collective message. Okay. It's the Knight of Cups in reverse. Don't try to, like, fix the thing. Aquarius, don't try to like, don't think like I was too blunt or I was too this or I was too that. Let me just say, because it's almost like a, oh, you're welcome. And welcome to the community. I mean, maybe you've been in here and just been quiet, but this Knight of Cups in reverse. Sometimes they say, well, you're no longer accepting love bombing, but that's not what this is. This is like, I don't have any, it is what it is, but I need, like, if you're cool, then I'm cool. I think, like, you can go back into the situation and be like, we're good, right? We're cool. Like, that was not personal. Like, I know it felt personal, but, like, let's just, like, accept this for what it is kind of thing. And this other person sees it as like, oh, they want me and all my behaviors back. So like, be careful about the advice is like, don't try to like mend the thing, you know, like don't try to like make it better because it's not, you're one person with in a rowboat with one oar in the water, which goes in circles. Okay, Pisces, and then we're done. So much for a quick right through the 12 signs. Listen, I gotta tell you, I've been up since 2 something in the morning, and I fell asleep at 1 something in the morning, because that's what full moons do to me. I'm a Cancer. And my Mars and my moon are in mutual reception, because I have a Mars in Cancer and an Aries moon. So full moons kill me. I was so ready to like, I'm not going to lie. I was going to be like, well, I'm going to do one of those quick readings and that works out perfect. And I can take a little nap before all the other stuff and I have readings later, right? I get with you all and your guides are kicking with my guides so hard that just the information highway flies open. And then quick readings aren't possible. Yeah, somebody's got, I have to call back all my power from anyone using it without my permission. And, I'm so sure, I feel like Loretta's so happy to like have like things are getting normalized in the new house. Now that you're there, I can send you something. I wasn't going to send it to your old house just so that you had to like pack it and take it with you. So you'll get that this week. I'm so happy for Loretta and your 3 new cats. Yeah. Every full moon is like a good luck sleeping. I talked to my one friend last night and she's like, oh, you have to get up at 5:30 in the morning or you're going to go to bed early. And I just wrote back, LOL. Like, you already know that that's no. Absolutely fucking not. Aw. Yeah. I can feel that like she's like, okay. Because your stuff is coming out of boxes and your smell is now that smell of the house. And the smell of the house was just the smell of the house before. And your old house smelled like you. So like now she knows like there's no new people coming in. Like it's just the 2 of you again. It's comforting for her. I'm just going to say this. I don't know who this is for, whether they're going to be in the replay viewers or whether you're in the chat right now. You don't have to check on them. And it doesn't determine whether you're a better person, like being the bigger person. You don't have to check on them. You're not letting them down, and you don't have to check on them. Okay. Pisces. Disillusionment is the whole name of the game with this full moon. I feel like for Pisces, this is going to feel harsh and liberating at the same time, if that makes any sense, this full moon energy. Because again, we have the thing that like doesn't want to let go, right? Because for different, like Capricorn doesn't, I always think Capricorn and Pisces actually make a great couple because they like, you evil then we'll evil then. Like you guys get each other with being completely different, but it meshes. This full moon might feel a little harsh, but it's really release and liberation. It feels unnatural. It feels like I'm asking, or this full moon is asking for you to do like everything you're uncomfortable with at once. And also you're fucking tired. 7 of Cups in reverse. It's the same energy. This is good, but this is for you. So like the veils are coming down. The fog machines are coming down. The cloudiness, the fog is clearing. And you cannot, if you perceive it all as personal, if you perceive it all as karma for you because you did something or you didn't make the most perfect decision, caring for somebody and some kind of fallout or whatever, that if you perceive it that way, then it will feel harder. our resistance to any transition or transit in our lives directly correlates with the length and the depth of the discomfort that we feel going through it. No truer words were spoken, especially for this full moon for Pisces. Okay. Relationship. That was 5 cards. I promised you'll get a full reading this week, Pisces, but not today. We need just 1 card for relationship. Yeah. Okay. 9 of Cups. Either you or somebody else is avoiding a relationship because it feels too good waiting for the other shoe to drop. And while everything else is like, it feels like water balloons breaking. So it feels like there goes another water balloon on the cement. Like, okay, that didn't, like, that broke. And so while this is going on in your life, it just feels like, no, I need to disconnect from whoever's, anxiety I'm picking up right now. It's right there. You're right there. You're on the precipice of feeling all the self-worth and the self-love. I love the 9 of Cups because then all you need is the Ace of Cups to make the 10 of Cups. It's the best kind of 10 of Cups because if somebody takes their 1 cup away, you still have the 9 of Cups, right? And you're like right there. So close. Let me all remind you, too, that President Biden is a 29-degree Scorpio sun. Oof, the Lover's showing. What's the advice for Pisces? What's the advice for Pisces? Don't worry about the indecision. Things are going to become look at this. This is all you need is this to turn around. Everything is becoming so clear. Indecision will be not, and trust yourself, but you don't have to do it now. Before you're going to make any big decisions about any of this, or like waiting, like don't wait for somebody else's shooter. You're right there. You're right there for like the kind of, you just have to declare, like you have to declare it to be so. Again, like, was it Gemini or Scorpio that got this, like, or something you kind of know, but you knew before, and it felt like the environment wasn't supporting, like, a yes or a no, but the third way was the way you wanted to go, and it just was not, didn't feel possible. Something is going to happen in this Capricorn moon to release you from the responsibility of, like, he is a Scorpio. He is a 29-degree Scorpio with a Taurus moon. He's 29-degree Scorpio with a Taurus moon. Lots of fixed energy. So this was big. This was a big Solomon's baby moment. To let the old guard down and give in to the change. That's Trump. Trump is a Leo rising, June 14th, Gemini. President Biden is 29-degree Scorpio. There, we don't have the Rodin rating, which is how reliable somebody's birth time is not great. So there's been a lot of, is he Gemini or Leo rising for the former 45. But yeah. Listen, my Pisces, stuff is going to move you. Let it move you. You're not responsible for how everybody else receives and perceives anything. That is not your responsibility to go around making sure everybody's okay with how they choose to perceive a situation. Let that Saturn in Pisces right now establish boundaries so that, yeah. This Saturn energy is your friend. All right, I'm sure everybody is running to the internet and to the TVs. So I love you. Now you love you. If you want to join membership or book a reading, that's all in the description. Have a lovely full moon. And be gentle to yourselves and let the thing move so you can move with it and send that signal to universe. I promise you, I see it play out again and again and again. Once you send that signal, it's quantum physics. Like matter attracts like matter. So if you're in transformational, if you're accepting transformational, you're also accepting all the things that come in that new phase of you. I'll see you all soon. Bye.